Hello, 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 and welcome to Emerald Thoth with me, Mark. Good to see you today. So, a few messages coming through today. Today I was drawn by spirit to the law of Lord of the Rings, and it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but there's something in the fantasy. The word fantasy means to make visible. So rather than it being a concoction of the unknown or creating the unknown, it's more bringing the unknown into the visible. And people who are drawn to channels like this and to spirit and to mysticism and mediumship, that's what they're doing, is bringing the unknown to the known, and the unknown makes it known to them. The unknown beings and spirits and guides as such makes themselves known to those beings. And the story of Lord of the Rings, if you go through it, is a lot like the idea of source creation. There's a character called Iluvar, which is like source creation, and all the kind of characters in that world talk about an idea of ascension, especially the elves in Tolkien's story. At the end of the third age of the Lord of the Rings trilogies, the elves, having helped to save Middle-earth from the darkness as such, a lot of them move on, which comes back to these stories of ascension. Tolkien was a Catholic, so some of those ideas, not necessarily by the religion, but the spirituality, are in there. And as I came here, I played Shabuzi, Last of My Kind, very much like a kind of Lyran song, if you resonate with Lyran, Starseeds connotations. But again, to those who are light workers and last of your kind, and this mission that you might have in these last few lifetimes, whatever your beliefs are, whatever mission you believe you are incarnated on earth to do, whether you see that as a star seed, as an angelic being, as an earth angel, whatever iteration you choose to identify with. Okay, so based on that, let's get some more information from the cards. This source, spirit, universe, one's all. Okay. So there are 3 cards that have popped out from Divine Masters. At the bottom of the deck is Rama and Sita, Divine Union. Following on from a couple of days ago, there can be individuals who represent mirroring that you need to go through, and there can be lots of people who represent that, not just one person. This can be a divine union within yourself and your connection with the divine itself as well. So there's a theme of coming into union with yourself, soulmate connection, romantic opportunity, and there can be people in your life that can come in or are already there, and you're shifting into alignment, or you're already together and that alignment is changing and moving forwards as such. Also, the cards that came out: Green Tara, Healing Light. Wellness unfolding, know that healing is a journey. So you would be healing in whatever fashion, whether it's in a relationship that you're already in, or with your connection with Source, or in the world, or with yourself, or probably all of those in some form. And so Green Tara is that healing light. Many iterations of Tara, the beautiful kind of unfolding of a lotus flower, and just you representing that healing light, you standing in that healing light, you being that healing light, and that being a journey that you're continuously on. Again, probably the card that's come out the most since I've started these readings, Lady Portia. Overcome limitations, karmic release, let go of the need to be right. You would be letting go of things that don't serve you at this moment. There's powerful changes as Mars is in Leo and the planets have aligned in ways that they haven't in decades. And Pluto shifts into Aquarius, a very revolutionary placement. That there's a lot of karmic release and letting go and changes in the way we're being, and coming into this sense of divine union, divine feminine, and again, third eye and crown chakra energies. And very interestingly, following on from that is Commander Ashtar, leadership activation, light coming right out of the third eye and out the top of the crown. Time to evolve, trust in your ability to guide others. The leadership element in here, he looks fairly elven in the way he looks there. It's about you coming to that leadership and leading in the light. Also, you can see there's an element of leading from the heart as well, This may talk about directly communication you have with other beings, light beings, what people would call a fantasy, but are beings in the unknown, or just simply other realms, only unknown to us in a 3D egoic consciousness. And so you are being led to lead here. Okay. I'm going to go with the Urban Crow Oracle for the next card. Bottom of the deck, wanted to stay in, make yourself known, which is teamwork, number 48. That would speak to teamwork in Lord of the Rings. There's many different races that work together. In here, teamwork of light workers is key. So let's just come out to follow. Okay. Interesting that cards keep coming up. So there at the bottom is Wrath coming out again. Birds fly around my head. And that's the energy you're dealing with. And maybe it's an energy that you need to utilize in yourself in terms of that leadership, in terms of that drive, but to do it in a positive, constructive way. There's a lot of red that I have on here, but sometimes we need to utilize that wrath, but in a positive, constructive way. In essence, that's drive and motivation, not necessarily deconstructive elements that are trying to reinstate your egoic sense of excessive pride or arrogance or establishment of your place at the expense of others. Your place is always divinely orchestrated. There's no need for that kind of competition or destructive anger, but there's a need for the drive and for you to also not be affected by that from others. Just underneath that is observation. So you may be looking at that in ways that you can embody that in the right way and not take on or embody that energy from others. You can see there's an element of the lightworker web from the web and the spider in this card and the crow that is observing. The other card that came out, or the card that came out itself, was Luck, number 28, which was there yesterday. This road leads to abundance and luck. It leads to manifesting good things in your life and leads to divine blessings from the sky. You just need to keep going with it. Let's take cards from the Secret of the Ancestors Oracle. Okay. Flipping out, another card that's come up recently, Boo Boo the Fool. And with this, there is a sense of a new beginning and a new start and to just go. So your ancestors are guiding you to go. You're on the precipice of the cliff. On the precipice may not always be a bad thing. It's saying you're on the precipice because you need to take a leap, and Spirit will have you, as will your contacts, your familiars, your spirit guides, those in contact with the unknown, and your shadow. It was asking you to take this leap, its possibilities and potential to move forward. At the bottom of the deck is the Peacemaker, is Temperance, is persistent patience, and doing things in balance. I think this is actually related to Ma, a very kind of joyful version of Ma. But yes, everything is beautiful and bright and in balance, and that holy grail of balancing fire and water and your own inner being and duality, this fiery kind of energy with a more maybe observant, receptive energy, and working in teams and receiving and utilizing the luck that you were divinely blessed with from the universe. Okay, take your time, Traveler's Oracle card, finish up. So number 13, flexibility. Here is grown bamboo, and I think I mentioned bamboo in a previous video. It actually grows rapidly once it comes out the ground. It's that expansion, but it's also strong and flexible at the same time. Quite a contrast or a duality within that plant itself. prehistoric bamboo forest in Southeast Asia. And this is talking about natural growth. It's talking about times where there was more natural growth. It's talking about a tiger, which in the modern time is actually an endangered animal, but it is a beautiful animal, and being maybe again elements of relating to Lyran concepts or relations, but of power and strength and divine, well, not necessarily divine, but symbolic of feminine power and strength. I see a few birds that have worms walking by. That's quite cute in a way. So this is talking about you finding that power in your flexibility and your ability to move through the world individually and in teams. And how once you rise and once you shoot out of the ground like the bamboo, that you'll only grow stronger, but you'll also be flexible with it. At the bottom of that deck is deliberation, and this may talk of a phase you're coming out of. That's where there is bamboo there as well. It's a single bamboo, so this could be reflective of you in a growing phase individually and coming out of that phase into the forest of bamboo, into this teamwork of diverse beings that are aiming for this ascension of the earth. And you can do that all with flow. So the universe today is saying that to remain persistent and patient, to be willing to take those risks, to realise you're on the precipice of something different, and when you're on the precipice of something different, that's when there's lots of things around you that may try to take you away from it, or doubt that may creep in. But you are a leader of a light. And you have that capability within you, and the earth needs you. So thank you for being here. Keep going. Best of luck. And I wish you all the best. Namaste.